Yeah, it's Mindset Cafe, we all got that mindset. Gotta stay focused, never settle for less. It's all in your head, how you think you manifest. So get ready to rise, cause we about to be the best. Gotta switch it up, gotta break the old habits. Get your mind right, turn your dreams into habits. No negative vibes, only positive.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Cafe podcast. I know you guys are peanut butter and jealous for not being here, being on the squad. It is Halloween themed at the gym, so that's why we had to dress up for this episode. But with that being said, it's your boy Devin,
It's your boy Nick,
and we have one of our trainers, Geraldine. She is also one of the most active in the comments. So now that she's not in the comments today, we need you guys to pick up the slack and make sure you guys are in those comments, right? So today's episode, the courage to be real, embracing, authenticity and what that is with the battle of temptation to pretend or be someone that you're not. So let's dive straight into it. Let's throw, Nick right into the wolves or into the lion den, because we'll be using it. I'll be using that analogy later. But what is authenticity, Nicholas?
Authenticity. In my opinion,
Place of origin. Use it in the sentence.
Root word. Man, you see, that always throws me off. No, authenticity. When I think of the word authenticity, to me it means like being real.
Have you said? I thought you were about to say authentic.
You just repeat the same word. No, being real, being true, and despite any external factor or any other circumstances that comes along the way, staying true to what you believe in, to what your morals are, staying on the path if you're specifically on a goal or anything like that. And no matter what the situation or what happens, being who you are, or being, sticking to what you believe in. To me, that's what authenticity means.
And Geraldine, would you add anything on that? Like,
just not acting like someone else around different people.
Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing is like nowadays this is why I like the episode. We wanted to have this episode today. Is nowadays everyone wants to be something that's cool, right? Mm-hmm. For example, the analogy that I heard of it was everyone wants to be a lion when other real lions aren't around, right? It's easy to be a lion in front of a pack of hyenas, but when a real lion shows up, it shows you what you're made of, right? Yeah. Just like a lot of people want to be soldiers or warriors with no war going on, but once there's a war going on, all of a sudden those people start dumping out, mm-hmm. right? Nowadays with social media and stuff, everyone wants to be a trainer or wants to be a business owner, but then when all of a sudden they get put on the spot, all of a sudden they start freezing up, or they start backtracking, and it's like it's cool to look cool until all of a sudden you have to do the work that it entails to be that person. Yeah. Right. So that's why I want to have this episode, because nowadays it's one of those things where everyone wants to have that image of, or be put on a pedestal just because they have a title, or just because they're saying that they are someone, when at the end of the day, the thing that relates with most people is just being authentic, just being you, right?
Yeah. And I think too, with what you said of what relates to most people, like sometimes what a lot of people's actions is that what they tend to do is like, they try to pretend they pretend to be something that they're not, or start acting a certain way, in trying to please other people, right? Yeah. Or to at least like show, kind of show like an image that they want other people to see. But the thing is, when we do think about it, most people aren't dumb, you know what I mean? Or it doesn't even come off as genuine, because most people can see right through that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like when we're just kind of true to ourselves, and we're speaking or acting, and that, like the things that we do genuinely from who we are, it's like the message that we send and the what we portray is like it can't get any realer than that. And I think the message gets delivered a lot clearer and a lot more direct. And that's when other people can actually see who you are. And like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if people like you or not, you know what I mean? So the more we show them who we really are, it's like that's I guess like what most people like, because like nobody likes somebody that's fake.
Right.
I think with social media though too, like it's easy to pretend, right? Like on there, and then you see people outside of social media and they're not like they pretend on social media.
No, definitely.
Right?
mean, that's the hard part, I think, is like, why would someone pretend on social media, or why would someone pretend to be one way with a person, right? And it's to build a relationship, right? To build a sense of connection. And at the end of the day, like that persona that you're putting on, that's not really you, is going to get seen through at some point.
Yeah.
Right. Whether it's today, tomorrow, or in a year, your true colors are going to come out at some point. Right. Like, for example, the lions, that when the real lion shows up, like all of a sudden, which lion could represent even like an obstacle, right? When something comes around, all of a sudden you show your true colors, then all of a sudden people immediately know that you're fake, and then that connection is broken immediately, right? So people connect with other people that are real, right? And I think that people want to connect, or want to pretend or fake this persona of who their target market is, or let's say their target client. They want to relate to them, so they start trying to pretend to be like them, and then all of a sudden it's like you're not creating a genuine relationship, and people can read through that 9 times out of 10.
Yeah. And I think like when it comes to like applying time to it, like when people try to pretend to be something that they're not, just to impress other people, or to create or build a rapport off of something that's not genuine, how long can you keep that up, right?
Yeah.
Like, because at a certain point, if you just as an example, like if you're very kind of, I guess, boastful is a word, or you like to flex on like how you are, on the things that you do and stuff like that, or like the service you can provide or whatever, and then it's like, just to get somebody to like you, or kind of see you a certain way, how long does that go on for, though? Because if that's not who you really are, and you're somebody that you can't step up to the plate, you know what I mean? At a certain time, you can't just like keep running your mouth. Like, when people are going to see that it's like, okay, like, and especially no one sees what happens behind closed doors, but at a certain point, the truth always comes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the hard part about it, because it's, if you say you're something that you're not, or you say something that you don't do, or you're not gonna do, it's like, when you do come to that point where you got to step up and prove it, what now? Now you're just destroying your whole personality, and you're destroying your whole credibility. I think that's like one of the worst things to do.
And then also people talk, like, especially like here, like in the community, right? Like Stripe community, like if you're a certain way and then other people see you a certain way, like people communicate, and they're like, oh, well, I didn't see that from her, or.
Yeah. And that's the hard part, is that a relationship can be built, let's say, over the course of a year. And that connection that you just created, it took a year to build it, but it could be broken in a day. But you're not just breaking the connection you have with that one person, you're breaking that connection with everyone they know too, because they saw your true colors, right? With social media, things go so fast, right? It's word of mouth is now not just like people speaking. Someone makes a post and boom, your fakeness or your flaw is out there.
Yeah, right? or like, that's why it's like, even that saying, like, oh, what you do behind closed doors. If you act a certain way at around like a certain community, and you think you're safe, or you act a certain way, or you're not who you say you are somewhere else, right? And you think like the community that you're around, or that you're trying to kind of show that side of you, you're what you're really not. Who knows who's going to see you on the outside? It may be somebody from, that circle, or somebody that knows somebody may be like, oh, for example, if you say, oh, I don't eat junk food ever, period. I don't touch that shit. What if somebody's cousin, sister, brother, uncle, whatever, sees you at like McDonald's or something like that, or they catch you at a Chick-fil-A or something, and then it's like, oh, hey, I saw you at this place. Now you got your you sitting there like, you just build that trust with people. Yeah.
Which one are you on, by the way?
I'm on yours.
I mean, and the other thing I would say too, like with that, is when someone is putting on that persona, like it creates like internal conflict, right? Like in terms of like you're pretending to be someone that you're not. Is that because you're not comfortable with the person that you are? Right. Because at the end of the day, like if you're trying to relate with people, let's say for a business, for example, like if we start trying to act like we're a certain type of person to generate, new members that are that category, but that's not who we are, then, why are we trying to act that way? Right. more people will end up coming and signing up for, let's say, memberships or in any business buying from you if they're genuinely like you.
Yeah.
Right? Then you don't have to be anyone else. You be yourself, and people will actually make that connection. And like, think about like the dude on like TikTok, Sketch. Right, like, that dude's hilarious. Right, have you seen him?
You know that is?
No.
Oh my goodness.
What's up, brother? That guy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The people like that, like, he's just genuinely himself. Obviously, he's putting on a persona of like this character, like that natural comedy. He's not censoring anything he says. Like, that's all him. So someone like that, he's not trying to be this super, luxurious, like flashy cars, all that stuff. He's, just a kid, and all of a sudden now he's like a super influencer and all these things because he was just him.
Mm-hmm.
More people connect with you when they see your flaws, when they see that you're not perfect like them, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, even like Chucky, the scars and the staples and everything like that, right? He's not a toy that you want to play with.
Yeah.
Or, you might play with, but then at the night,
just killing people. Yeah. Now I think, okay, so another point that I kind of just thought of right now, when we're pursuing like to develop like a personality or a trait or create habits, right? That's something separate though from because I don't want people to like get that wrong or get that misunderstanding of, oh, like if I'm trying to better myself and have these certain personality traits or be this way, you have to put in the work and the actions to back up to, kind of build yourself to gain that trait or that habit or that routine or whatever. But that's different from like pretending something that you're not. Do you know where I'm going with it? Like I guess like that imposter, like the imposter syndrome in a sense, like where you speak of like what your experiences are or the things that you know of, right? But it's also when you are you're trying to better yourself, or you're trying to, I guess like I just said, like be better in certain areas of your life. That's putting the actions though. You're putting in the actions on a daily basis and the effort to be that new, better version of yourself. Does that make sense? Right. That's something different. Rather than saying you're something or you do something specific, but on your inside, like you said, the internal conflict, that you actually don't put in the work behind it. That I think that's what made me think about it is the example you gave of like the lions. It's like I heard a saying. It's like, oh, everybody wants to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. Mm-hmm. For example, like in the fitness, because we're in fitness, it's like you want to act all hard. You want to show like you say you're the shit. Like you push yourself and you put in the work in the gym. But then when there's other people that also go as hard, some people I've seen in like commercial gyms, it's like then you got some people got their tail tucked between their legs. Yeah. But that's different than you're trying to better yourself. And you just putting in the genuine, wholehearted effort to every single workout, every single day, or whatever to maximize your workout. The pretty much like the message that you're sending is you are a beast because the actions that you're doing and the efforts that you're putting in is to your full extent and maximum potential. But it's not something that like you're just verbalizing and telling people like, oh yeah, I go hard all the time. But then it's like when you're in the gym, it's like you don't actually give 110% of your effort. You're half-assing the workouts. So that's when I think you can see the difference from people that walk the walk and talk the talk. Because then when other people like actually do the work and they actually put in to their best capabilities, you can see the people that kind of fold and are just kind of like, oh damn, they're kind of all timid all of a sudden. Mm-hmm. It's like where's all that talk that you're talking about?
What do you think, G? What do you think that like? What are the strengths that it entails to be authentic?
Just staying true to yourself. Basically,
like why would that be, like why is that a strength, or why is it hard to, why can't it be hard to stay true to yourself even if people aren't resonating with you, right? Because
I feel like most people want to be liked, so they're going to pretend to be something they're not just to be liked, to please people, but not stay true to themselves, basically. What about you, Jelly?
It's like, what are their strengths?
No, like talk about like the strength it takes to be authentic, like the internal strength, the mental strength, like the mental fortitude that it takes sometimes. Like for example, like when I went to the mastermind in Rosarito the first time that we had joined up to the higher level group, and I was in a surrounding table with 10, 12 other business owners. One, I was the youngest, if not second youngest at the table, right, of all these dudes. And also our business was the newest business. And so everyone's putting in, you know, giving advice and all these things. And at the same time, like that internal, like imposter syndrome was there. But at the same time, like I still just gave what my truth. I didn't try to act bigger than we were.
Yeah.
I didn't try to say that I knew more stuff. It was just like, look, this is what it is. Take my advice. Don't take my advice. It doesn't hurt me. Like, you know, if you think it's dumb, whatever, that's fine. Then don't use it. But if it does help you, that's awesome, right? But at the same time, some people would have that timid,
fear.
That fear of just saying something, so they don't want to be seen or judged. So that it takes that mental, that fortitude to basically just be yourself, and whether people like you or don't like you.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think the strength that it takes to be authentic to yourself is grit, and grit. And I'm trying to think of, like, you know, the best, I guess, like, word to explain it. That, and I guess, like, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want to achieve the goal or develop the trait or be who you say you want to be? Because when you are trying to progress and take those steps forward to achieve something or be something better, and throughout that journey or throughout that process, it's going to be hard. You're going to be called to the plate to show the effort, the true intent to do as best as you can with what you know, with what you have currently in that state.
Yeah.
Now you're being tested, right? And that's what I think, that when those tests come about, that's where you need to have that strength, of that drive, that grit to push through as best as to your ability, to pretty much give it your all, despite all odds. You know what I mean? Because it's like everything is going against you, because that's how growth happens. That's how you achieve success. That's how you develop growth. It's like through pressure, through tests, right? And I think for us to overcome that in anything that we do, it's like, whatever the goal you're trying to get to, whatever you're trying to attain or be who you want to be, how bad do you really want it? Because when that why, you know how we've talked about it many times, like, what's your why? Because when your why or your driving factor, it weighs enough to you and it means enough to you, there's nothing that can stop you from pursuing and putting in the effort, no matter how many times you are being called to the plate.
Also having that mentality of, like, how do you want people to remember you, right? Like, because they're gonna remember, like, how they met you, like, the first time. They're not gonna remember all the other little things. I feel like that first impression is, like, big.
I mean, like, even for you, like, I mean, what was the mental battle, you know, becoming a trainer, right? You know, you start off back when we were at the park, like, you know, you were training with Nick as a client, and, you know, you were one of our members before, and then you took on that role, becoming a trainer. Like, what was that mental, like, conflict of calling yourself a trainer? Because in the beginning, it probably didn't feel like that.
No, it didn't.
Right? Like, it probably took a little bit of time to finally be like, I'm a trainer.
Yeah.
Right? So when was that, or how was that built within yourself to know that I'm not just saying I'm a trainer because I have the job, but I am a trainer?
I feel like once I got used to being around everyone, because, I mean, I was one of the members, so I always saw myself as one of the members. And then after, like, being around everyone and gotten comfortable, like, even them, like, cheering me on, you know, as a trainer, got me into that mental stage. Like, okay, I am a trainer. Yeah. Like, I got this.
Honestly, and that's like the exact, like, thing. It takes time, but it also takes you doing the reps for you. Like, you coming in for each shift, you're the one that helping members out, and then members start seeing you, cheering you on, and they're like, yeah, you know, my trainer, and they're talking about you. And all of a sudden you start to hear that, and then it's not you telling everyone that you're a trainer. People are telling you you're a trainer. Right? Just like leaders, right? A leader, you could call yourself a leader, but doesn't mean you know how to lead anyone. Right? But when other people immediately go to you to lead, that just shows you're a leader. Like, if you have to tell other people what you are, 9 times out of 10, you're probably not that. Right? If you have to tell every single person without, like, them, let's say they're able to see your life and see everything you do, and they wouldn't call you a business owner, they wouldn't call you a trainer, they wouldn't call you a certain thing, then you're probably not that. Right? So with you gaining that strength, that mental, that fortitude of getting outside of your comfort zone, one, becoming a trainer, but then two, proving to yourself through day in and day out of doing it, then you've got that comfortability of, saying like, I am a trainer, right? I mean, I think that goes for anything in life. You have to prove to yourself that that's what you are and that's what you're doing. Like, for example, if I'm a trainer, or like, I am,
You are.
but the way you don't tell people that I am a trainer, right? I'm a trainer. Like I help people with their fitness. And, I'm a trainer, so I do these things, right? And so if you start living your life in the direction of you doing those things, so like if you want to say you're a trainer, you want to believe that you're a trainer, then I help people with their fitness. I help people with their nutrition because I'm a trainer. Mm-hmm. I help people with motivation because I'm a trainer.
Yeah.
And these are the things I do because I'm a trainer, right?
Yeah.
So those are the things that for us as parents, right? Like we have to build up our children because we're parents. Like we have to, love our, show them love and show them how to love because we're parents, right? So when you start to like break down what that is or what you want to be into, what does it do? What does that job title, right, in life do? And just start doing those things, then, it's without a doubt, you're going to end up being that thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like the action. It's like your actions that you do on a daily basis is what determines who you are.
Right. What that's why people call you a dancer.
People will say,
You walk in, slide in, and all of a sudden, Tony comes on. I'm like, not Nick. Put the knee pads back there, and no slides on the
whoa. I mean, when we walked in today, I asked people like, what time is it?
And you're like,
woo! I looked at them and I was like, it's peanut butter jelly time.
Do the dance.
That's not it.
That's not what you were doing earlier.
That's not it.
No, but I definitely agree. Well, actually, before I say what I want to say, for those of you guys that are watching in the live, why don't you guys share in the comments and share with us? Don't be shy, especially because we have G, because G usually isn't the comments. But, she's here with us, so that way she can also partake with you guys throwing your inputs in. Name something that you guys have done or are currently working on that you've realized that requires you to be authentic or true to yourself, or something or a previous time that you may have realized that you're working towards something, or you were speaking of something, but it wasn't in line with who you really are, who you really wanted to be, or what you wanted to achieve.
God damn, that's a long question.
Sorry. Or any shares. Like, name a time where you...
I was wondering why you were looking at it. I'm like...
Is this multiple choice?
Pick one what you want to share.
Question is, when has authenticity had an impact on your life in a positive or negative manner?
That's actually what I was trying to say. Yeah, there you go. Name a time where pretty much you were trying. Authenticity came into play, positive or negative. So don't be shy, guys. Drop it in the comments, share it. I was trying to remember what I wanted to say. What you said. You see, this happens all the time. What is it called? Damn.
You got jelly
What
brain?
What is the danger of living a lie or being unauthentic? What is the dangers? Starting with G.
What are the dangers?
Yeah, like internal, external. What are the dangers of, being unauthentic?
Well, first, people are not gonna actually like you. They're gonna be fake towards you too, if you're being fake. And then I feel like you're just gonna feel bad for not staying true to yourself internally.
No, you're right. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. I'm laughing because Nicole put a comment. She said jelly brain. Good looking out. Yeah, it's kind of, that actually is kind of what it is. It's like jelly right now. But continue.
Yeah, that was my answer.
Oh, I thought you had more to it. Well, to me, like a big danger of just not being authentic to yourself. It's like the actions that we do and how we, what we do on a daily basis is what determines us, right? Mm-hmm. Now, if the actions that we're doing is unauthentic or it doesn't line up with who we are or who we're actually trying to be, just like in the same sense that the way we talk to ourselves and the way we treat ourselves because like what you had said earlier, it goes with that. Like you do it for you, right? Because like anything that we do, anything that we pursue, even if it was like an external thing, like changing careers or developing a new skill to be able to affect others in a positive way, it's like to be able to accomplish that, it starts within yourself. You can't help anybody else unless you help yourself first. But more so, the actions that we're doing in our life, the choices that we make, has to be starting with ourselves. Because if it doesn't start with you, it doesn't affect anybody else. Or if you're not able to fulfill, the best version of yourself, you're not really doing anybody else like justice around you. Yeah. So in that,
you'll never
people won't trust you.
Yeah, but you'll never find the best version of yourself.
Right.
Like you can never become the best version of yourself if you're not you to start with.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So like that's a huge danger, because if you're not being true to yourself and you're not, being honest or in line with who you really are internally, like, mentally, like you may not think about it in the moment, but in the long run, the habit that becomes the habit that's created is kind of like you just, with everything that you do, you just think to yourself, like, you're not going to go through with it. Or you think to yourself like, oh, I'm a liar. You know what I mean? Or you hold yourself unaccountable pretty much to anything else that you may be doing. Because then you know that you're speaking something that's not true about yourself, on a daily basis or on a frequent basis when you're trying to portray something that you're not. To me, that's one of like the biggest dangers, because it's like you're lying to yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And I think that's where like people like go on these like little missions like to find themselves, because they've lived a lie for so long, or they try to be someone that they're not for so long that they don't know who they are, what they like, or what, just to be them and let the world see it. But also it's like, what happens when that version of you or who you're trying to be doesn't work anymore? So now you have to change your whole persona, what other people see, because now you're trying to appeal or make connections with these new people. So does that mean you're cutting off the rest of your life before? Because now if you're becoming this new person, or you're putting on a mask to become a new person, these other people aren't going to resonate with you. Yeah. And what happens if that one doesn't work? You're just going to put on a new mask, and you're just like at the Halloween store like you were and trying all these different costumes. But it's like, that's what it kind of is. It's like you're putting on a costume, right? And you're like, okay, this one works for right now. And then you're like, actually, you know what? I don't want to be this anymore. And then you put on a new costume instead of just letting you be you, right? So I think that's like the danger, is like a mask can only work for so long and for a level for so long. And then you realize that you're trying to level up and you have no connections with those people because it's a completely different, kind of person. So it's like, that's where that danger kind of lies, at least, in my opinion on that. Right. So I think that's like one of the biggest like dangers, but also I think people just are scared of like the rejection. Yeah. Right. They are. Like when have you guys ever faced like, whether it's, with friends, with family, or, with work, whenever you ever had a fear of rejection with something in your life that was like something that you liked? Does that make sense? Like like you as a person, like you like certain things, like Geraldine, you like everything black, you like everything bloody, you like everything coffins, you like skeletons. Like,
he likes death.
At the same time,
I am death.
But you being you, that like everyone like knows that and like loves that about you, right? But when has that been something that you were scared, someone might not like that or resonate with you? Or have you ever had that? And it's okay if you have.
I mean, I don't think that I've ever had that. Maybe like in the dating world, like when they first meet me, I don't want to fucking scare them.
You just go on a date just like this. This is me.
I'm gonna show up with a knife. No, but other than that, I feel like I always kind of stay true to myself.
That's good.
And if they don't like it, then oh well.
Yeah.
I guess they're not for me.
That's being authentic. Like,
because even with the members, like, I feel like sometimes even on social media, like I try to put like little things like, today I literally didn't feel like working out. Like I'll put it out there. Like I don't always feel like working out, but I'm still gonna do it. Right. Regardless, right? I'm not gonna be fake about it. Like, oh, like I always feel like working out. I'm always happy, Like I'm gonna put it out there too, because I want them to feel like I'm the same as them too. Like I'm not, you know, this superhero or whatever. Like I'm not always in the mood to do things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Actually, I really like that, because I think when people try to
what about you?
Oh,
don't try to avoid the question.
I'm not.
Yes,
Come on, Jelly Brain.
I
I know how you work.
I was gonna go back to it.
Oh,
but but I mean, I'll answer. Just I'm not gonna just say what she said. Like, oh, I don't. There hasn't been a lot of time. There hasn't been like a lot of times where I was like afraid of, like, you know, kind of rejection in a sense. I mean, because I've kind of always had, as far as I can remember, like I've always kind of also been along the lines of like, if they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. You know, if it doesn't line up with me, then it's like, okay, that's their life. This is mine. I don't know why, and I don't know exactly, if I try to think about it, I don't know exactly when. There wasn't a specific time where it just developed. I think maybe just when like when I was younger, it's just, you know, something that maybe my parents taught me, that like you can't change what you can't change. You can't change other people. You can't change the world. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you be you. You do you, boo boo. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and that's something that they've taught me since I was little. Like, you know, you believe in who you are. This sounds so cheesy, but it's like, you guys were at my wedding.
So cheesy?
You guys were at my wedding. Like, my mom gave that
so
speech,
jelly.
and like, I'm not gonna lie, my mom's speech like made me tear up a little bit. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember that, when she was saying, like,
I do.
when I was very little and she was walking me home from school.
Yeah.
And honestly, that part, like that gave me the knot in my nose, bro, because that hits hard in my heart. Like, to like, and actually hit, like, it just gave me flashbacks. Like, we didn't have a lot when I was growing up, and like she would walk me home from school, and I would tell her, like, no matter what it takes, like, I'm gonna do my best to be able to help you guys, you know. And like, I know, I suppose she said it in her speech, like, you know, I'll get you a car, I'll get you a house, and I'll pay you back for everything that you've done for me. So that's, to me, that was like me, like starting when I was just authentic to myself, that like I will do whatever I have to do to be the best version of myself and be able to provide to my family, right? And I think that's what made me, or that's what gave me the strength to always be myself, because no one else on the outside, whether they like me or not, at a job, at a group of friends, at something else, like, their actions are not going to determine my efforts in my life, and it's not going to help me in the long run. And if I don't fit in, then that's not where I'm supposed to be, you know. But I mean, to like the fear, I guess, like the fear or times that I've had it, I can honestly say, was when we opened the gym. Like, no sales experience, leading experience, yes, but like managing people and like just in general what we do, you know, especially in the beginning, like I was afraid of that, you know, maybe more so too, like afraid of failing. But I did know when it came to being just myself, I was myself. I don't know if you can, you know, like, I guess, like, vouch for that. Like, I never tried to change who I was. That's not to say like skill wise, because skill, I understood that there was skills that there are, and still skills that I have learned and still have to learn to better myself. Right. But just being genuinely who I am as a person, I just, you know, but that was one of my, I guess, my most fearful, like most feared things that I've ever had to overcome, was just playing the person that I'm supposed to be. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's definitely times for it, right? Like for myself, I can say that when I first had my personal training company, that fear of rejection of clients not wanting to sign up for you, it's different because now no one else is selling my personal training except for me. Yeah. Right. So now, like, there's this internal dilemma. Do I try to fit a persona that, you know, adapts to more people? Or do I just be me, and whoever signs up with me likes me, and it is what it is? And not going the other way, like some of the other trainers, like you guys already know that I'm not a peppy trainer. Like, I'm not one of the ones that will rah you and do all that kind of shit. But at the same time, like, my style works for me because it is me. Yeah. If I try to do like the way you train, or the way you train, like, it won't. People aren't going to connect with it. They're like, that's it, I don't know. Just, I get a weird vibe. Right? The same thing. If you guys try to be like as you know, cutthroat, or as, you know, just sarcastic, I would say, as me, it comes off as like rude. Yeah. But that's just naturally how I am, and that's how you guys are different, right? And if you're able to be you and change the version of you to fit your goal of becoming that role, then it's one of those things where it's going to be so much more genuine. You're going to have so much more success and growth in it. But if you try to just put on a mask and be someone you're not, it'll only last for so long.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to hate going into that job. You're going to hate, running that business. You're going to hate, trying to hang out with those friends, because every time you go, it's mentally exhausting being someone you're not.
Yeah.
Right. For me, like, I've just been always one of those people who are like, if you don't like me, you don't like me. I don't give a fuck. I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
I can care less. I've had clients that, would be upset with, let's say, something I said, and it wasn't rude or anything like that. And my response is, sorry you feel that way. Do you want to train today or not? Right? And then it was always like, well, yeah, you made me feel, like I wasn't doing enough. I was like, did you do enough? Well, no, then you made yourself feel like that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's fucking work out. It's like, I didn't make you feel anyway. I just called you out. Right. Some people that's too strict. Some people it's not.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So,
we got a couple comments before I skip over. Patty, shout out Patty. Damn, somebody dropped something. I lost it. People sometimes hide because of that, afraid of people not being accepting of you. People sometimes hide because they're afraid of people not being accepting of you. Rejection.
Yeah.
It's like you right now, you're taking a big step. We know you're not a public reader.
No, it's the way they're typing.
You're doing great.
It's the way they're typing.
Fuck it, I would be chopping it up just as much as you. So.
And then Mariana said Geraldine.
What?
She said Geraldine, but she never. I don't think she finished. Mariana said Geraldine, your videos every day motivate me to go work out. I was telling Nick, you pushed me to work out. She did. She actually did tell me that. She actually told me that she was pushing herself on the challenge because she saw how well you were doing. So I don't even know, I don't know if you know how, you're affecting people without knowing it, by being authentic.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to give you guys a huge shout out. This challenge is really rewarding.
Girl, you look great.
Yeah, she has made a lot of progress. Yeah. Great job, Mariana, honestly. I told her that too. I was like, hey, I don't know if you noticed. This was before checking. Yeah. I was like, you look different. And I see you every day. I was like, has anyone told you, on the outside, of the changes? She's like, yeah. She's like, they tell me at work, oh my God, girl, you look so good. And I was like, you see? And it's like, I can see the changes and I see you every day. Think about the people that haven't seen you in 4 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah. They're going to be like, God damn.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for you.
I think the difference too, because we're talking about different masks or different, being a different person. I do want to touch on this though. There is a time and a place to put a mask on, right? Mm-hmm. For example, when we come in the gym, we're trainers.
Yeah.
Right. But we're not our trainer mask is us, but just in a certain role. Yeah. Right. But we're not I wouldn't say anything as a trainer that I wouldn't say outside and vice versa. But let's say, I don't know, I always reference him, but RIP, Kobe Bryant, but the Mamba, right? So that was a persona when he was playing, it was basically cutthroat, he's on the floor, a killer. Mm-hmm. And then he takes that mask off. And now Kobe Bryant's different. Kobe Bryant's the person that you're talking to during the interviews. Right. But it's not that. So there's a time and place for those kind of things. When you're working out, you can put your beast mode mask on and everything about you is the same. It's just you're in the zone. You're in you doing this right now. Yeah. Then you go back home to your family and then you're, that loving, caring person.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's I think that's the thing where people get mixed up is what's the difference between your private life and your, life that everyone sees, let's say on social media, right? Mm-hmm. What's the difference between privacy and authenticity, right? And I think it's people think that if you, because me with Camila, right? Me with my daughter, it's a whole different person than me training someone on the floor.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They're two different people, but the same person, mm-hmm. right? But I also don't post her or anything all our whole private life because that's private, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't take away from me being an authentic dad,
mm-hmm.
right? But that doesn't mean everyone else needs to see that that's part of me too,
mm-hmm.
right? And it doesn't take away from my authenticity of being a trainer by not showing that other part of me also,
right?
Right. So just because you don't show every part of you doesn't mean you're not authentic, but any part that is showing, Hold up.
Ladies and gentlemen, he took the crust off.
It has got
Full on peanut butter.
But any side like personality wise that's showing of you, that should still be you. But it doesn't need to be, you know, if you are a split personality kind of person, right? It doesn't, you don't have to show everything to be an authentic person, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, how do you guys feel about that?
No, I definitely agree. I mean, that'd be
Are you
weird.
taking your crust off too?
No, because I thought about.
He was taking my crust off. You know?
We took each other's crust off. No, because I was laughing at what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, yeah. I was like, I hope people don't expect you to walk around here carrying them. It's okay.
I just carried you earlier, literally. The picture will be on IG.
Imagine Devin just picking up somebody and spinning him around. No,
I mean, he picked you up.
Huh?
He picked you up.
Okay,
With your crust and everything.
We don't need to get into details. But I definitely agree with that because I think the general foundation of the authenticity is what, like you said, like when you're with your family, you're yourself, but like obviously the actions that you do are still to the full extent of being a dad. And when you're here, it's like you're to the full extent of your, of who you are as a trainer, as a leader, as a, like business owner, and just Devin. So like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I think what I'm trying to say is like, I agree with that very much because it falls in line with how you do one thing is how you do everything. You know what I mean? Like when we go home, when you guys come for a workout, like you're authentic in a sense of like, you just carry yourself the same how you usually do, but giving your full effort, maximum effort, and being like, courtesy gym goer and like with respect. And when you go home or when you go home with your family, you're doing everything still to your maximum effort as a leader of your family, how you take care of your family, right? Showing them, leading them through action, showing them respect, being courteous and stuff like that. Same thing with work. When you go to work, it's like, how do you treat like your coworkers, your boss, how you treat your workload, how you treat your tasks. And like, if you do it to your full extent. And I think too, like it goes with like your goals. It's like, if you're being authentic to yourself, it's like, and being true to yourself, it's like, how hard do you actually put in the effort in achieving your goals in every avenue of your life, right? Like how hard are you working to achieve your goals and the effort that you put in at home, at work, and your workouts, in your own personal life. Like, I think that's a huge part because it is part of what Patty's other comment. It's like, you can't please people because then you will never be happy.
Yeah.
And
I mean, you can't please people, but.
Huh? Oh, yeah, I mean,
please everyone.
You can't please everyone. Okay, well, you can't please.
Out here making everyone fucking mad. Patty said it.
Damn, Patty. You can't please everybody, but then you'll never be happy. And I think that's a huge part of it because if you're not authentic or if you're not, your action, you're not moving in line with who you really are, you'll never be happy. You know what I mean? And it's like most people are so fucking busy trying to please everybody else and be something that they're not, to give an image to everybody else that inside, I guarantee you, like, you're not happy unless you're happy lying to yourself. And that sucks. Like,
I mean, I want to because my daughter's only 2, right? Your kids are a little older. What do you think, because I mean, you're definitely an authentic person, right? And from trainer to just you being you, since I've known you, right? How have you seen that play in effect, like you just being you, right? Have you seen that roll over or demonstrate in your kids just being them? Does that make sense? Or have you been able to show them just be you? You'll make friends that like you for you, all those kind of things. Because we tell our kids that obviously. My daughter says she has a best friend, and but it's as kids get older, kids are mean, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're.
But it's
mean.
Kids are mean.
Time,
I don't even have any.
At the same time, your kids watch you work out, right? Your kids watch you be you. in all areas of your life.
Yeah.
So even if you tell them, oh, just be you, like they're going to naturally do what you do, right? They're going to be like you. And so you not only saying it, but you actually being that kind of person, like has that had an effect on your boys?
I feel like both of them, especially Caleb, he is very himself. Like he does not filter anything. He feels the one kind of way, he's gonna say it. Like regardless. I feel like Xavier is a little bit more like he thinks about like what people might think or like their people's feelings. But other than that, I feel like both of them are very like authentic, like they're just themselves.
Have you had to have that like talk with them, like, you know, whether it was from like other kids at school or, you know, something that happened in their life where you had that like talk, like just being you is enough kind of thing?
Yeah, with Xavier, because he's now in middle school.
Okay.
And you know, yeah, kids are very mean. And I'm always telling him, like, I'm always asking him every single day, like, how's school? Like, are you making friends? Like, is it okay? And stuff like that. Just because I also feel like maybe if like stuff would happen at school, he might be like, am I doing something wrong? Or, you know, not making friends and stuff. But yeah, it gets weird in middle school because he's like, yeah, like my friend this or whatever. And then he'll be like, oh yeah, my friend called me this. And I'm like, that's not very friendly, you know, like.
Well, boys are different.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Like, boys will be the most disrespectful to each other, joking around and be the best friends afterwards. Where girls, if they say one thing about it, it's like Sarah hates, you know, Jessica for Tara saying this, and now they're talking about it, and now they don't like, you know, Laura, and it's like all of a sudden it's like, what the fuck? And, and boys will be out there punching each other and calling each other, you know, the most mean names and having the best times of our lives. You know?
Yeah.
So I think that's the hard thing too, you know, but
just letting him know, like, it's okay to be you, and if people don't like you, then it's fine. Like, you'll just find other friends.
100%.
But he tells Caleb that too sometimes. Like, he'll be like, who cares? Like, they don't like you. Xavier too, like sometimes in the morning, he'll wake up and his hair's all messy, and I'm like, bro, like, let me fix your hair. He's like, it's fine. And I'm like, you look crazy.
That's a little too you, brother.
Yeah. Then he's like, no, it's fine. Like, I'll just, you know, fix it in the bus or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Caleb, on the other hand, he's like, Mom, can you like fix the back of my hair? Like, is it good stuff? I'm like, oh my God. But
I'm just here taking notes. I'm taking notes from both of you guys. I'm just here for when that time comes. Patty said, you lose yourself. Calm down, Eminem. We got 8 Mile over here. And then Patty said, kids and adults are mean. That's hilarious.
I feel like it hurts more, it resonates more when someone calls you out for you being you, but at the same time, like, you're able to get over it faster, right? Because if you're not being authentic and you're putting on this mask that you're trying to get people to like you, and then when they don't, you're like, damn, what am I not doing right? Right?
Yeah.
But when, let's say, you know, you're just being you and someone doesn't like you, like, it sucks. You're like, damn, like that kind of hurt, but you're like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, like, whatever. So instead of you going back to the drawing board and trying to create a new version of you, it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna move circles, you know?
Yeah. Marlena, shout out Marlena. She dropped the comment. She said, lead by example. 100%.
Yes.
Like, I think it goes back to that. My just input on lead by example is like, it's the action. Like, because like, especially if you are trying to, you know, influence people, or at least like show the best version of yourself and try to make an impact on other people, it's like they see what you do, you know, not what you say. So like, when your actions are in line and intact with who you are and what you genuinely want, or, you know, it's like, that's the best way to like affect other people, especially with kids.
I think like something that you said right there was like crucial, because it's how you said it. I know it's not what you intended, but it's how you said it, right? When you're trying to influence people. If you're trying to influence people, that means you're trying to convince them of something.
Yeah.
Right. But when you're your most authentic form of yourself, and you have an influence on someone,
Mhm.
right? That's what a leader is made of. That's what, people lead by example, is just being you, and people will follow you if you naturally have that leadership skill, right? When we opened the gym and all those things, that it wasn't like I'm the leader, or like that. It was just that we were working together, and like, so we have different leadership roles, right? And then even with like our trainers, like there's different leadership roles within that, right? Like with the new hires and stuff like that, like you're a leader to them, right? But it's not because you've just been here longer. Like you are doing everything that we've taught you, right? And you do it without even thinking about it. So by you doing that, naturally they're going to come to you for advice, right? Instead of you just not doing any of those things and then them just coming up to you, but hey, so what would you do for this? And you're like, I don't know, right? Which we've had that issue in the past, right? And it's like, that's not they're not going to come to you again, right? So if you're influencing people, or you have an influence on someone, then one, you're going to have a greater response on anything that you do or you tell that person than if you're trying to influence someone, right? Like if you're trying to sell someone something versus them selling themselves on it because they see it for what it is. Right.
Patty said, but even with friends, you still need to show them that they need to respect and not be mean to each other.
R-E-S-P-E-C-T. Every time someone says respect, I always, like, for some reason that plays in my head.
Yeah, I don't know what you guys take on that, but even with friends, you still need to show them that they need to respect and not be mean to each other.
I mean, that's just, I feel like that's just in life, right? I mean, it's not even with friends, like
with anybody,
with anyone. Like there's a common level of respect that should be given to anyone, right? And if there's not that respect, then you don't associate yourself with them. If a friend is not respecting you, again, depending on how sensitive you are, like what you consider respect and not respect, but like if someone as a friend is not giving you the respect that you deserve, then that's probably not your friend. Right. And then at the end of the day, if you're still trying to tell them you need to respect me, it's like that's like in a relationship, right? That all of a sudden your significant other, your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, is not respecting you, and you tell them you need to respect me, and then it's like they should already want to respect you. If they want and the desire to respect you as a friend, as a in a relationship, in the job space, if there's not that respect, it's probably not going to be given after you just telling them. It might happen for a day, a month, or whatever, but it's going to go back to how it is because that's how they see you. Right.
And I think first, the foundation of that, like to be able to establish, the boundaries, you got to respect yourself first, and that comes with, you being authentic to yourself and knowing what you deserve in a sense. You know what I mean? Like if you're authentic to yourself and you're true to yourself and you know what you're worth, knowing your worth.
Where's that from?
I don't know.
That's not a jingle. That's not real. You just made that up right now.
I did just make that. I'm not even gonna lie. I just made that up.
Face.
I think.
Like, what?
I think that
he was like, I want a singing part too. Knowing your worth.
I think it came from.
That came from nowhere.
No, I'm saying that's like a be yourself. That's from somewhere, right?
No.
Like,
What?
No.
Try again. Third one. Say another line.
I'm done. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. But it's like when you respect yourself, it's like you're gonna know you deserve respect, and then you're gonna set the boundaries for people to respect you as well, and then that way you can reciprocate. You know what I mean? But I agree with Patty.
No, definitely. I mean, like respect should be given in a relationship and friendship, whatever. It all should be demanded of each other because that care, that support system for each other is there as well, right? If that's not a demand of the relationship in general, then it's not a strong it's not a strong relationship. Any form of life, right? We wouldn't be business partners if there wasn't a mutual respect from day one that we have the best interest for us both in mind, right? Obviously there's disagreements and that and there's let's say arguments or whatever. That doesn't necessarily mean that there's a disrespect. And if you are disrespected by something that someone says or does, letting them know that felt disrespectful is one way. But if they're constantly disrespecting you, like just out of blatant disrespect, that's another thing, right? Because some people take certain things or the way you tell someone or approach someone on some things can sit differently, And if you feel disrespected, let them know, like, yo, like, honestly, like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
Like next time, like, just tell me, you know? So.
I mean, that's for everybody else. Like, we have a level of, like, we've been together for way too long. Not in the never mind. Forget it.
Bro, every episode you talk about us being married.
That's not what I meant.
You got us matching costumes.
Peanut butter and jelly.
You told me every time that we hang out, you're creamy.
We're cutting that out.
That's a peanut butter reference.
Good thing it's not the one with the nuts in it.
Interesting.
Oh, you like it crunchy?
Yeah, they're taking this left field.
So Patty left another comment. She said, I tell my daughter that don't let people all right, this is not my reading skill, okay? I just want to clarify that before I continue reading it. I tell my daughter that I don't let people buy you down. Get you down.
Bring you down?
Bring you down. We got you, Patty. Not my reading skill. Don't let people get you down ever, no matter who they are. Always stand up for yourself. That's also stay authentico. Yeah, I mean sorry, driving.
Kids are really mean now. I don't know if I remember kids being this mean when I was
did
a
get
kid.
into a lot of fights.
You
kid.
did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Fight. Middle school.
Because you started them
school.
or they started it?
Debatable. I mean, I never officially started it. I mean, I have antagonized it to lead to where it led, but at the same time, you know.
I can just imagine.
When I got lion, step up.
But no, I definitely agree. Like, well, actually, I agree with that because, like, I think the times definitely have changed. Not to like dive into that too much, but like I think
it's social media though too.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, like I don't even have kids. Like just seeing from my nieces and stuff, like from how fast they grew up, like and the things that the things that we probably learned when we were in like high school, they like were talking about it, like like barely getting into middle school, and I was like, damn, like what the hell? And I do think like for kids, like it's important for everybody, especially like for parents and stuff. Even though I'm not a parent yet, it's like to kind of
is that coming?
we gotta ask Nicole that one.
Nicole,
is it 9 months? 8 months?
No, 9.5. I'm just kidding.
When the twins do?
Twins, calm down.
But that's not for sure.
But it's man, I'm tired thinking about it. But like kind of being able to teach them, like, you know, being authentic and like the importance of being true to themselves, because there's so many external factors with how the times have changed in social media. It's just crazy how much like things have been accelerated and how times have just changed on the things that they learn. So I think now more than ever is like crucial to like, you know, express like authenticity and being like at least like true to themselves. Obviously, as long as it's, you know, the good aspect of it, you know. I'm not saying like any parent's a piece of shit, but you know what I mean. Just teaching them the right things.
Yes.
Yeah. I guess. But with that being said, guys, we loved having G on the episode. You know, I know you guys missed her in the comments, but you know, better to have her live with us. So we appreciate you guys. We love you guys. Thank you guys for the support. Stay golden.
Stay authentic.
See you guys tomorrow.
Say one more jingle.
Peanut butter jelly, yeah.
No negative vibes, only positive thoughts. Cause in the game of life, mindset calls the shots. Got my mind on the prize, I can't be distracted. I stay on my grind, no time to be slacking. I hustle harder, I go against the current. Cause I know my mind